Amphibia and the different type of orders, that is Apida, Urodela and Anura. So we are going to study about in detail the parental care in these orders. Amphibia, in that, as we know that parental care in the members of the class Amphibia, as we know that the orders Anurans, Urodels and Apodans are included. So in this group of amphibians, we come across the great deal of parental care. So what is parental care? So parents that protect their eggs and developing young ones because of they lay few eggs. Next, what is parental care? A care of egg or the young by the parents until they are independent to defend from the predators. Parental care is a behavioral and evolutionary strategy adopted by some animals favoring the continuation of their race. It involves a non-genetic parental investment which increases the evolutionary fitness of the offspring. Patterns of parental care are widespread and highly diverse across the animal kingdom. Now, the order Apoda. So, here in the order Apoda, so fertilization is internal. Male dig a hole to the surface in a damp soil near the water. Eggs deposited in the hole and the mother coils around the eggs with the body and ready to hatch eggs taken to the shallow water. Here the example is Ichthyophis is the only example in the Apodans. Next order is order Urodela. So here the parents they take care of their young ones by protection by the nest, and the next one is direct caring by the parents. Protection by the nest it involves in a hole on the land or tree and in a gelatinous bag in a water. Direct caring by parents, in that A is mother coils around the egg and B mother carries the egg on her back or legs. So first is example is orthodox is a female. So in a hole on the land or trees, so orthodox female lays the egg in a dry hole on a tree or a ground. Either male or female remains in a hole to provide moisture and the temperature to the young ones remains with parent in a hole. Next one B is a gelatinous bag in a water. So you can see in this slide, so there is a gelatinous bag, okay, containing the egg. Here the example is salamandra. Now the direct caring by parents, the mother coils around the eggs. In a Congo eel, that is Amphibia, the female lays egg in a damp soil and mother guards the egg, coiling her body around the eggs. Next example is mother coils around the eggs with the body, that is Desmognathus fucus. Again the next is viviparity. So Salamander atra gives birth to one and two fully formed young ones. Next is the order Anura, protection by means of the nest or the nurseries, in that first one is mud nest, home nest, nest on a trees and direct development. In this second one is direct caring by our parents, so transferring tadpole by males, egg carried by male around the leg, egg carried by the female on her back, egg carried in brooding pouches either male or female, egg carried by female on her belly, eggs carried in a mouth and viviparity. So mud nest, formation of nest, that is mud nest, Hyla faber is the species of the frog. So the parent that dig a small hole in a mud for the developing eggs and surplus mud act as the wall. So female scoops a mud to the depth of 7.5 to 10 centimeter. A circular wall is built around the nest to protect the eggs. Next is foam nest. You can see here the Japanese tree frog. Okay, so this Japanese tree frog, male or female, that makes a chamber above the water level. The secretion from the female cloaca, which bittens into forth, means the bubble or the foam for the egg deposition, and in this foam or in the deposition egg are deposited in the this foam. Okay, and this is the parent. Next is formation of nest, that is leaf nest. Okay, in a South American tree frog, a margin of leaves are folded from a nest and leaf margins are glued together by a cloacal secretion. It has an aperture at the base and nest overhangs watery area. When the eggs hatched into the tadpole or the larva, that directly goes to the water. Next one is Hyla resinifex. So here the female collect the stingless bees wax and applies it on the inner surface of the shallow cavity of the leaf and lay the eggs. Adults and Hyla nebulosans. So the direct development, that is no metamorphosis, occurs in some species. Egg hatch directly into little frog. So there is no larval stage. For example, here is Hylodes. Hyla nebulosa. It lays eggs in a nest. This nest is made up by dry leaves. The eggs hatch and develop into small adults. Larval form is absent. So tadpole phyllobates, transferring a tadpole by male. So after hatching the egg on a ground, that egg after hatching the egg on a ground, so hatched egg attached, that is tadpole that attach on a back of parent with the help of sucker. Again, eggs carried by the male around the legs, that is toad altis. Okay, the male carries the egg with the hind limb, you can see in this slide. So eggs are held together by the gelatinous filament. Here the next is egg carried by female on her back, that is Hyla goelidi. The female carry the eggs on her back in incipient broodpouches. The young come out as a full-fledged frog with tail. Next is egg carried in a brooding pouches. So Pipa americans is a frog. So in this frog carried out the egg on the back of mother. The breeding season, the back skin of the female becomes thick, soft and spongy and the vascular. The male presses the fertilized egg against the female's back, where they sink into a tiny individual pits. An egg sinks into a small pouch over which develops an operculum. There are about 100 eggs that which develop into these pouches, and complete metamorphosis occurs within these pouches. The tiny toad emerges out about 80 days after the egg deposition. Eggs carried by the female frog on her belly. Okay, and the next is egg carried in a mouth. So the Darwin's frog from the chili puts tadpole in a vocal sacs for the development. So in a vocal sacs, the female keeps the egg up to the hatch. Viviparity. Next is viviparity. So as we know that what is viviparity? Viviparity means that is direct giving to the birth to the young ones. So the species, that is Pseudophyrini and Nectophyrinodes, so they retain their eggs in the oviduct and female gives birth to the young ones directly.